Hello and welcome to Let's Play Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. I am your host Amalius, also known as Demo, and I'll be playing a rather unusual playthrough of Baldur's Gate 1, if we get far enough to. I will be using the characters from our pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and because this is a rather unusual way to play this game as far as I know, I will be introducing our characters first. I'll be starting with our ranger, Willow. Willow is our group's female ranger, and because she uses bows rather heavily in the campaign, the pen and paper campaign, I took the liberty to make her a archer in Baldur's Gate. Let's take a look at her stats. She has a very decent strength, dexterity and constitution. Actually they're maxed out. Intelligence and wisdom I let them remain what they were, but she has very poor charisma. That's sort of a running gag in our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. It's also part of her background because she's, well, on the run from certain individuals and she tries to, let's say, not stand out, and her charisma sort of helps with that. Let's also take a look at her gear. Considering she's an archer subclass, I think started leather armor was the maximum amount of armor that you could have. I gave her a composite longbow, which gives her to hit bonus and extra damage. She has 14 health, which is very decent starting out, and she has a FAC of 16 with her bow, which she needs to roll basically. And with the battle sword, which she's also trained at, that's 18, so she's a lot better with her bow than she is in close combat. She also has a familiar, which is actually a pseudo dragon and the 7th party member of her pen and paper campaign, but considering you can't make that a full party member, I just decided to put him in here as a sort of a nod to that. Alright, let's go to Fergar, our druid. Alright, Fergar, true neutral druid. Fergar is actually my character in the pen and paper campaign. I've been in the group's healer, mostly because we needed one. As well, at the moment we are all in this group. We also have Marcus, who was a cleric, but when we started the campaign we didn't have that one, and I figured we needed a healer in case we did not want to die very rapidly. His stats are fairly decent. He has 18 wisdom, which should help with spells. I only made a small mistake with the constitution. Normally when I roll my characters I try to have a constitution for every single character, because otherwise your health points are just way too low, and yeah, I only gave him constitution of 17, but otherwise I'm fairly happy with him. Strength and dex, as soon as I get wild shape they don't really matter all that much, and overall they're still quite decent. For armor I gave him studded leather armor, a scimitar and a buckler, and some random health potion that I found somewhere while doing the starting quests. Alright, next one is Aurelian, I think. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Aurelian is our half-elven rogue, and he is a rather likable person. He's an assassin subclass, as you might see up here. Yeah, and when you think stab, shoot first, don't ask questions, you've got a good description of his personality. He worships one of the gods of Dungeons and Dragons that was, I think, affiliated with murder. Not sure which one it was, but his god desires that he kills and sacrifices a single soul to him on a daily basis. So, yeah. He wears studded leather armor and he comes equipped with 2 daggers. Very basic upstart, but yeah, well, we had 6 people to equip, so we couldn't do much else with it. Alright. Next up is James. James, our human river pirate. I made him a swashbuckler in Baldur's Gate, because that's pretty much how he plays the game and what his playstyle is, so I figured it was a good match. He's greedy, selfish, and capable of himself out of most of the problems that he got himself and us into. I'm saying most because, well, you always fail a dice roll somewhere. Stats are, nice. Could use a little bit more health in combat, but can't have everything. Saddle leather armor, 1 longsword, I think. Yeah, he's supposed to have 2, but I didn't have enough gold for it. Some random potion I found and 2 scrolls that I couldn't sell to anyone in town. So that's what we're gonna sell as soon as we get to it. Marcus, our mysterious Kanaracus. He was added to give us a much needed boost through a magical forest. He was a few levels higher than us when he entered the game. I'm not sure if he was temporary character, he was a temporary character, or he was there for the long haul, but yeah. It wasn't really clear what his motives were, which adds a little bit to the character, I guess. He's the most heavily armored party member. He has splint mail, a large shield, and a warhammer. In the pen and paper campaign, he actually had, I think, a long sword or a bastard sword, but yeah, in Baldur's Gate you can give that to a cleric, so I decided to give him a warhammer instead, because I think warhammers are cool and it fits well for cleric. He's also a priest of Talos, because you can be like cleric or Cyric in the game, unless you want to play a normal cleric, in which case you also don't get any nice boosts, and he actually gets two nice class-based spells. Let's see, he can cast lightning bolt once per day, starting at level 1 and every 5 levels, which is really damn nice, especially at the start of the game. And he can cast a storm shield. Oh, it says protects against lightning, fire, cold, and normal missiles. Oh, well, that will be a nice character to have. So that's going to be a nice boost to our party. And now time for our last party member, Orpheus. Orpheus, our elven bard. To trust with this text that you see over here, he's 100% elf. Chaotic neutral is a pretty good description of this character, as he helped us as much as he worked against us. He had a little feud with James. That's that guy over there. And they kept pickpocketing each other. They fought each other on several occasions, and yeah. I made him a jester, a subclass of the bard, because yeah. This change causes his bardic music to confuse enemies, and this is exactly what it did during the pen and paper campaign every damn time. It was more hilarious than useful, but who am I to complain? It gave us a good laugh. Yeah, he's wearing chainmail armor, and he has a single longsword. I think Orpheus, James, and I'm not sure, I think also Aurelian during Dungeons & Dragons campaign, they also started with crossbows, and that's basically what everyone used. But like I said earlier, I didn't have enough money to outkit everybody. As you can see in the inventory, I only have 15 gold left, which is, yeah, can't really buy much of that. But anyway, I think that's enough of an introduction. I think it's about time we start the first episode.